All right, so this is part 5. So where we left off, I was back in America looking for a job, and he was still in Jamaica. So we, had a long distance relationship. Within that first year, we decided we wanted to be together, and we were going to get engaged. So I finally secured a job in Atlanta, Georgia, and that I think that was probably in 2010. Yes, 2010. So I secured the job down here right after Thanksgiving. And that January, I already had plans and tickets to go see him in Jamaica. So moved myself down here, went to Jamaica, and visited and that sort of thing, and so that was 2011. So 2011, I think I went down to visit him like maybe 2-3 times, but I think it was more like 2 times. At that point, he wasn't in school. He graduated, was had a good job, for Jamaican standards, a good job, good paying job, but still sometimes we'd need help financially. So I would, since I had a better job, I would help him out, not tons of money, but $100 here, there, that sort of thing, and just kind of help him out. Or when I would come down, I'd bring stuff for him or his family. And then that following year, I think it was around January of 2022, or excuse me, 2012. Apologies about that. Oh, no. So, let me back up. So it must have been in January of 2011 when he proposed to me, now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, so he proposed to me, and then that following year in January 2022 is, no, it wasn't in January, it was February of 2012, sorry. February 2012 is actually when we ended up getting married. So we had a long engagement of a year, and it was nice. Had a beautiful ceremony there. And then you have to start all the paperwork for getting that person to come. So we didn't do like a fiance visa. We didn't want to do that. We knew we wanted to get married. We didn't want the pressure of having to do all that in 3 months and then have to do all this other process, because every one of these international processes to help, have someone come to the U.S. Costs a lot of money, a lot of paperwork. They ask you all kinds of stuff. So we decided, our first year married, we'd end up staying apart, he in Jamaica and me here. So I hired a lawyer because I wanted it done and just done right. That cost me about, I think it was around $4,000. So he put our documents together after we got married. And the plan was, so in Jamaica, when we got married, we had a traditional ceremony. I bought a dress in the U.S., brought it down. He wore a suit. We got beautiful wedding pictures. Had really yummy cake, Jamaican wedding cake. Give that 5 stars. It's really good. And we had some close family and friends from Jamaica come and be at our wedding. So none of my family or friends from the U.S. came, because our plan is to get married there and then come back to the U.S. and have another ceremony or reception and invite our friends then. So by that January, January of 2012, we got all the paperwork ready for him to finally come back with me to the U.S. So went down there. It was around, I think I went down in February, around our anniversary. And when we had bought the wedding package for our wedding, it came with the option of being able to come back in a year to stay at the resort for your anniversary. So we took advantage of that. So we stayed at a resort. I think it was, 4 nights, maybe 5 nights. Had a lot of fun, saw his family. You know, it was a great time. We came back to the US. Customs was awful, unfortunately. They were not very always, well, at the time, I didn't find them to be very kind to people coming from another country and trying to get into the US. I mean, I know there's reasons for all of that and stuff, but it just was not a great experience. And then it took so long, we ended up having to run to our next flight, and we had a pretty extensive layover. And I think we flew into Miami before we got to Atlanta. So came to Atlanta and, you know, started our life here. First lived in an apartment, and he got a job rather quickly within a couple months, started working in landscaping. I still was working in the job I had, so was doing that, and you know, just living our life as a newly married couple and having fun and getting to go out and do dates and stuff, because now, you know, we were making better money, and we, you know, lived in Atlanta where you can get everything and anything. And so we were just having fun, and it was joyful. We started planning a reception party to have our American friends come. And so that following fall, we had a big party at this beautiful state park in northern Georgia. We had family and friends from all over come, and we just had a great time. And it was relaxed and fun and nice, and, you know, what we were looking to have to celebrate our marriage together. And, you know, that's just kind of how things went for the next few years. You know, and then so must have been about 2014 is when we started talking about, you know, let's talk about having a baby, having a child. So, you know, that took a while. At the point, I was kind of older at the time. So it just took us a while, but eventually I got pregnant in 2014. And we had a beautiful baby, a beautiful daughter in 2015. And she is our joy, and the best thing that has ever come from this whole union together. So I'm going to stop here and pick it up from after we had our daughter in our next part. I think the next part is part 6.